Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Have you ever wondered why the timing of menopause might be more than just a biological milestone, but a real turning point for your brain health? It turns out that for millions of women around the world, the timing of this life phase could hold secrets to how our brains age and stay sharp. We often hear that estrogen is like a secret weapon for the brain, helping to keep our memories bright and our nerve cells humming along. But what happens when that protective shield is taken away too early, either naturally or because of surgery? This is the core question that a new scoping review set out to answer. The researchers wanted to see if there was a solid link between early or premature menopause and measurable changes in the physical structure of the brain. You can think of a scoping review like a giant archaeological dig. Instead of digging up dirt, these scientists dug through 21 different studies representing thousands of lives to try and piece together a picture of how the aging female brain reacts to a sudden drop in hormones. When the researchers looked at these studies, they split their findings into two main groups. First, they looked at women who hit menopause early, often well before the average age of 50. Second, they looked at women who had undergone a procedure called a bilateral salpingo oophorectomy, which is just a fancy way of saying both ovaries were removed. This is often done for surgery related to cancer risk. The study design was quite diverse, which is common in this type of research. Some studies used high-tech brain scans like MRI to peek inside at brain volume and white matter health, while others looked directly at brain tissue, checking for the kind of gunk or plaques that are often associated with conditions like Alzheimer's. The results were truly striking. In the majority of the papers they reviewed, there was a consistent signal that earlier menopause, particularly from surgery, was linked to smaller volumes in the medial temporal lobe. This is a crucial part of your brain that acts like a library for your memories, especially the hippocampus, which is the part that helps you remember where you parked your car or what you had for breakfast. Beyond just volume, the team found evidence of trouble with white matter integrity. You can think of white matter as the wiring of your brain, the cables that allow different parts of your mind to talk to each other. When these cables lose their coating or their integrity, communication slows down, and things can get a bit fuzzy. Several studies pointed out that these changes were more frequent in women who experienced early menopause. However, science is rarely a straight line. There were a handful of studies that showed more complex results. In one group of studies, the differences in brain health were tied more to external factors like hormone replacement therapy or general health rather than just the surgery itself. It is a good reminder for all of us that no single factor tells the whole story. A p-value might tell you if something is likely to be a fluke or not, but these researchers looked at the bigger picture of quality of life and biological history. One of the biggest strengths of this review is that it highlights just how much we still have to learn. For one, these studies often define menopause in different ways, which makes it like trying to compare apples to oranges. Also, most of the data came from Western English-speaking countries. We really need to know more about how this impacts women all over the globe to get a full human-centered view. So where does this leave us? If you or someone you know has gone through early menopause, this research suggests that staying mindful of brain health is a smart move. It does not mean that your brain health is set in stone, but it does mean being proactive. Things like regular exercise, a heart-healthy diet, and keeping your mind challenged are ways we can support our brains through these transitions. This study is a call to action for researchers to stop treating menopause as just an afterthought and to start looking at it with the clinical intensity it deserves. We need to identify the exact mechanisms that lead to these brain changes so we can better protect cognitive health for the long haul. At the end of the day, biology is complicated, but knowing the patterns helps us take better care of ourselves. I think it is fascinating how the simple timing of a hormonal shift can ripple through our entire brain architecture. What do you think about the link between hormones and brain health? Have you seen new research that connects these dots in a different way? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out in the Mind Lab today. If you enjoyed this dive into the latest neuroscience, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into how our minds and bodies work. See you next time.